So this is totally random, and I was not planning on going live right now, but sometimes I just am doing something that I think might be interesting to somebody else. So I've been in meetings all day today, and today is my scheduled day that I'm going to go grocery shopping. So it's been 25 days since I've been to the grocery store, and so before I go grocery shopping, I just kind of do a peek around in the pantry and double check things, so I don't have to go to the grocery store again for like another 3 weeks. And so as I'm doing the little peeks and stuff, I kind of thought I found a little something that I thought you might be interested in. So anyways, these are the brands of barbecue sauce and teriyaki sauce that we keep. We are an allergy family. I cannot eat this. It does make me sick, but my husband likes it. So anyways, so if you're following me because of the allergy stuff, this is not an allergy one. But anyways, we get these at Costco, and the Kinder's brand barbecue sauce. These I can eat. So anyways, the whole point of me getting on here was I was going to talk about this. So I write with a Sharpie the date. I don't know if you probably can't see it, but anyways, I write on the Sharpie the date because after a while you can't find where the date is again on the bottle, and you take so much time just looking for it. So I just quickly, when I bring things home, I write the date on here when the Best By date is. So this is 11/23, and this is my last one. So this is good not until this November, but all the way until next November. And it's my last one. So I just have to figure out like how many bottles of teriyaki sauce do I use in a month, and then I can buy that many ahead if I wanted a year supply of something. So if you're a family that goes through one bottle of ketchup a week, and you need a month supply of something, go buy 4 bottles of ketchup. If you're a family that goes through a bottle of ketchup every 6 months and it's something that will last on the shelf for 2 years, then you can, totally just buy like 1 extra bottle of something, and it helps build up your supply. But I'm always check the dates before I leave to go shopping, and I know that this one doesn't expire until November of 2023. So I know that for sure we're going to use at least 1 bottle, and probably, at least 2 or 3 more in that time period. So I can easily grab a couple more. I have them on my shelf. And then that way, when the prices increase at the store, I already have them at home. So I do that for everything, like everything. So this is the barbecue sauce. So we're kind of getting low on barbecue sauce. I could totally make barbecue sauce if I wanted to, but I've been so busy building the Cross Legacy, I have not been able to. I'm going to sit here on the floor for a second. And so this one with the shining light is hard to see. So this one, again, this one's 8/23. So next August, not even this August, it's next August. And then this one is 6/23. So not this June, next June. So I can totally go buy, well, I could probably go buy, honestly, 12 more barbecue sauces, and we would have plenty. But normally like around 6 is what I like to keep on the shelf. One of my friends was talking about maple syrup this morning, and real maple syrup, like you can only get in the fall and winter time normally. And like when they sell out for the year, they sell out. So I buy enough for the year, and being an allergy family, we go through a lot of maple syrup. And so I have figured out over the years, like 18 bottles of maple syrup, which seems like a lot, is what I go through in like around a year. And so I like keeping that many bottles on my shelf, and I know that I have them. But maple syrup is one of those things that never expire. So along with honey, I don't know if I can grab it from here. So I get honey in great big containers, and then I move it down smaller into mason jars. But honey, again, is something else that you can have on your shelf with pretty much an indefinite shelf life if you store it correctly. So honey and maple syrup are pretty much indefinite shelf lives. Any of your salt kind of things are we store real salt, Himalayan salt and sea salt. And so those, I buy those in like 5-pound well, 5-pound bags that I put in glass storage jars. But I wanted to show this. I've done a couple other videos on this. These are from Amazon, and they are my can organizers. I have 4 of them. And originally I was looking for ones that you would just put it in the top and it would rotate on its own and do first in, first out, because that's really important that you're not just shoving new stuff on your shelf and not paying attention. But these are not like that. Can you see? There we go. Okay. So what I do, sorry, this was not planned. It was just random. I'm going to show you something. So what I do is these normally hold around 4 cans, each little slot here. And again, these don't expire until 8/24. So they are good on my shelf for a while, and they'll last, tomatoes last a year after the expiration date or the best by date. And then the, let's see, low acids last longer. Low acids last 3 years. So your beans and other kind of canned vegetables would last longer. These are high acid, so they only last one year longer. So we're talking about canned items that last at least until 2025 on my shelf. So, you know, food security if we needed it, even if you weren't a home canner kind of thing. But when I bring new items in, I always want to check the dates and make sure that they all are in date order. And so I like having that the rack only holds, well, depending on the size of the cans, between 4 and 5 cans, because then I can check them. Because sometimes you go to the store and all of a sudden you're getting a can, and the one at the store is older than what you happen to have at home. And so you want to make sure that you're using the ones that expire first, no matter when you bought them. It's a big thing. I was doing this one day and did a little video and was bringing them home and showing you guys how I would do it. They all expire at the same time, and I like the one that didn't have the ripped labels. That's why I'm switching it up. Anyways, I did this a couple of months ago when I was bringing some cans home, and the new cans that I was just getting from the store expired 7 months before the cans that I had already had on the shelf. So it was a perfect example of checking the dates and how important that is. And then if it's ever a dented can, I always, no matter what the date is, I try to use that one soonest. So I'm really particular when I'm at the store. I look for non-dented cans. So if it did get dented, it's just getting home, and our kitchen is upstairs, so getting in and getting up the stairs and stuff. So I am sitting on the floor, so I look awkward here, but I'm going to scroll through and see your questions. And then I'm going to go, well, not on video, but when I get done here in a few minutes, I'm going to go, I check the freezers downstairs, and I check the pantry produce items. And then I have the list of like the things that we knew that we were low on. Oh, this was a good thing. I noticed I have an enchilada sauce here that expires this summer. So, I mean, still, it's not expired yet. It expires this summer. But it's a great time to know that I need to batch cook some enchiladas. So I'm going to make sure that I pick up some flour tortillas while I'm at Costco today and be able to batch cook some enchiladas and get them in the freezer. So that's kind of how I plan ahead for things too. And we haven't had enchiladas in the freezer in a long time. So that's kind of a new exciting for us meal, because we haven't been doing this lately. And then I had all the hearts, and then we joke that we call it pastor's pasta sauce, but because our pastor used to make this special pasta sauce that I don't can, I put it in the freezer, and so I haven't made that in a while. And I normally make that with homemade meatballs, so I was making sure I had everything to do that. And I have some soup bones that are in the freezer that I want to cycle through, because I've been making, well, I didn't put it up on the shelf, but this is turkey stock that I made over St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I need to make some bone broth, like beef bone broth. So I'm going to make sure that I get extra celery and carrots, because I just want to get that done now before gardening season starts. So normally I just use my scraps but I just made broth like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, in March. I made it in March, so I used up all my scraps. So when I go to the store, I will not be buying spinach because I still have a ton of spinach left in the freezer, because I had oral surgery and we haven't been making our smoothies. And so I'm still trying to use up the spinach that's in the freezer in different ways. But it is really hard for me when I'm at the store not to just buy another bag of spinach, because we do like using it. Okay, I'm going to scroll back to the beginning for questions or comments. And I get stuck sometimes and bounces. And okay. So yeah, that's our big Friday night plan, is to go to the grocery store tonight. It's actually like one of the least busiest days to go to the grocery store, so I really like it. And Mike is able to go with me. He hasn't been inside the grocery store since like December, November, because we've only went like twice, But anyways, so I have to watch it when he's with me because, he wants extra things that are not on my list. But how smart, figuring out how much you use monthly, projecting a year's worth. Yeah, so when we first started trying to stay out of the grocery store, and which was before the pandemic, when then everybody was trying to stay out of the grocery store for a while. We are here in the Seattle area, so we were the first area that had grocery stores closed down. This is the first time I'm going to be able to go to the grocery store in 2 years without a mask on today, because our mask mandate just finally ended since the last time I went to the store. So I'm kind of excited about that. People that have been in other parts of the country have been able to make their own choices for longer than we have. But I am looking forward to seeing people's smiles and facial expressions, and I think that's really cool. But anyways, totally different tangent. Just so when I go grocery shopping, or when I first started trying to get a little bit more of our food supply like built up, the first, while of it, it was just trying to make sure I had everything I needed for a full week. And then I went from a full week to 2 weeks. And then, really tried to figure out exactly what we needed for 2 weeks. And then I worked from 2 weeks to a month. So you don't have to have a full year's supply of everything like we do. This has taken a couple years to build up. If you notice, it doesn't look fun. We don't stock hardly any fun things. We stock single ingredient items to make meals. If we do want something like sweet or something, it's something that we have to bake or make gluten-free goldfish from scratch or that kind of stuff. If I had a whole bunch of chips and cookies and cereal even on the shelves, we would eat it. And so I always say that we don't stock things that a teenager could or a slumber party could just, eat up in a weekend, or, just bad hormones and eating or whatever. So, anyway, so when I'm talking about stocking food, it's not, tons of chips and that kind of stuff. Those are things that we just get when we go grocery shopping the once every 3 weeks. But we have a year's supply of things that we could feed our family, if we needed to, without going to the store. So, but I really concentrated when I first started to work on a month at a time. And then after I felt confident that I had a month's supply of things, then I started building up where I had 3 months of things. But I went off of my shopping list. I went off of the things that we already buy, and then I grew from there. So, a lot of people get a little nervous, and they just go out and buy a ton of rice and beans. Well, if your family doesn't eat rice and beans, you're not going to go through it. You're not going to cycle through it. You're not going to want to eat it when you need to eat it. And, so we started with trying to do 2 weeks and then a month, and then from there, 3 months. And then now when I'm looking at things, I'm looking normally from harvest season to harvest season, or maple syrup is one of those things that I know it's not going to be out again until, this time next year. So I want to make sure that I get what we need. When I'm canning items, I'm canning from harvest season to harvest season. Even when we buy our meat, that's technically a harvest season to a harvest season because we get it from local farmers. So we're looking 18 months out. So we're getting the meat we need for 18 months. I get this question a lot. We do have a generator. We do have backup gas. If we lost a freezer, I am a canner and pressure can things, and I keep a propane tank and camp stove and all the things. So I always say that we have backups to the backups to the backups. And, you know, we store water, we store other ways to heat food. So I never really thought that I would be talking about these things publicly on Instagram or social media or YouTube or wherever you end up seeing this video. But I think there's just so many people that are so scared about the increasing of gas and wars in other countries and how that might affect our food supply. And after just getting done with this pandemic and thinking that everything's good, I know that I see almost every other post on my Facebook page, like my personal Facebook page, it's somebody asking, how long until this expires? Can I still eat it? Is it still good? You know, I bought this here, you know, when is it safe? So we have all these great graphics that I'll make sure that we get up over the weekend that reminds you guys, like, this is safe for this many years after the expiration date. So I will make sure that those get posted. We'll make a highlight bubble for those so they stay up all the time. And they're also linked on the blog. If you go to 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒.com, I have a post that it's like /pantry inventory, or if you just search for pantry, you'll find it. But go to 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒.com /blog and you'll be able to find it. So that was a mouthful. 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒.com /blog and look for pantry. So, and then I have freezer inventories there too. So you can see what we store in the freezer, like the different cheeses and different things, because today is a stock up at for the freezers, and I haven't bought cheese in since before December, so in like 3 or 4 months. So I try to buy cheese 3 months at a time. And so this is a cheese shopping trip today. So when I go this afternoon. So anyways, I'm going to scroll for questions and see if there's any more. And hold on. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. Why do you use maple syrup because of allergies? I get orange blossom honey, not from stores, but from a bee farmer in Florida. It's simply the best, and clearer the better. I believe in getting local honey, so that's great if you're local to Florida. I'm not local to Florida, so we get local honey. I get it. It's in I think it's 11 pounds at a time. It's in a bucket. I get a bucket of honey at a time. But so we do maple syrup and honey, and then both of those are natural and they're great alternatives because we have a raw sugar allergy in our family. But both of those affect glucose numbers, and we have a diabetic issue in the family. So we do use both of those natural ones as possible, and then I do a lot with monk fruit also, because sometimes we need to worry more about the glucose numbers than the sugar numbers or natural sugars, or it just depends on what's going on. So I'm doing canning I'm doing that with my canned goods also, but didn't know about the best after. Okay, sorry. I am doing that with my canned goods also, but didn't know about after the best till date. Yeah, it depends on what the item is. So I'm always, really trying to keep an eye on what the date is and make sure that we're not eating expired food. But sometimes something gets pushed in the back, or you forget about it, or like we had a random sweetened condensed creamer that I didn't realize that we should have ate, because I'm normally really good on dates, and then I ended up making creamer out of it. So, but anyways, yeah, it just depends on what it is. And we broke it down to like if it's a canned fish item and if it's a canned vegetable, different things. So, probably not today because it's Friday night and everybody's kind of getting off for the weekend. But by Monday, we will have a highlight bubble on Instagram that will have all those graphics there. But I know in the meantime, they're over on the blog. And they're really cute. They're like, you could screenshot them and save them. And, but, they're great little graphics, and they tell you like mayonnaise is good this long after the date. And we're talking about unopened items. So don't open up salad dressing and put it on your shelf and then think it's okay. And all the things that we have done for those little graphics were like official government, like, you know, numbers. They are not just random things that I'm saying. So I always want to make sure I'm giving you guys correct, safe information. So those are from, the information is from the USDA that we made the graphics for. So somebody said yay for the smiles. It's the hearts, those little hearts, just every time. It just gets me. So, yeah, thanks. Yeah, they just get me every time. Okay. Says, how do you make sure, okay, how do you make sure pasta and flours don't get weevils, a bug? Sometimes they get into stuff like that. So, well, mostly for one, I live in an area that we don't have pantry moths. So I know other places you do have them, and then when I mention pantry moths, because I know about them, then people are like, what are you talking about? But so I know it's an issue in some parts of the country or the world. It's not a issue here. But I do use mostly all sealed glass. Well, everything's in glass, but sealed glass, to keep things fresher longer. And then a lot of the items, this is like a half-gallon jar. This is like an actual metal lid, and I have a different vacuum sealers that I need to take a video. So pump and seal, I'm sorry, I haven't taken a video yet. But anyways, to show you guys how to seal these if you wanted to use them for longer storage. Okay. The longer storage ones are where I can't reach them easy. But this is just my working pantry that that I'm opening up all the time and stuff. So anyways, so nothing can get into this jar. So nothing, it's a metal lid, it's glass, nothing's going to get into this. So if you live somewhere that you need to be worrying about that, you should be putting your I'm not sure if pastas really is a problem with that when it's coming from where it's coming from, but your flours, or we have wheat berries instead of flour, and rice, if you put it in your freezer just for 3 days, it'll help kill anything that might have been in there already. And then if you store it in glass, it's great. I will talk about this for a second. So I have these pretty jars. This one is one of them up here. This is a 2.5 gallon one. This one here is only 1.5 gallons. So that one is the same size as this and this combined. So just for reference of sizes if you need it. But this lid is not airtight. So I love them. I think they're pretty. They say they're airtight. They have this little seal on it. I'm going to close the door. Mike has his radio coming in. He doesn't know I'm on a live. So his radio is like blasting. Anyways, I can't think. Hold on just a second. Mike, live. Thanks. Okay, sorry, that was loud. But anyways, the seal is not airtight. So this is like flour that I'm using within the next 2 to 3 months, so I don't worry about it too much. It's like cookie jar tight. But if I lived in somewhere that we had weevils or pantry moths, I would not be using these jars. But these are not for like longer term storage. Does that help? Hope that helps. Oh, okay. So anyways, when you take the rice back out of the freezer, let it cool off or get back to room temperature before you put it in the jar. So if there's any moisture on the rice, that you're not causing issues, a whole new issue. So, yeah, so it will, 3 days in the freezer is all you need. Oh, yes. Okay. So somebody asked if I can freeze block cheese. I freeze like all of our cheese. So, yeah, I freeze mozzarella cheese and I shred it for pizzas. So I always keep 1 pound blocks of cheese, which is our blog post for this weekend, is gluten-free pizzas. But, oh, and then I freeze by the blocks. And then we have a shredder. So I shred it, or you can slice it. It just depends on which one. Mike always knows better than me that this one slices better than that one. But for shredding, you can do whatever. And then, so the cheeses, or the blocks of cheese, and then we also get, occasionally we'll get shredded cheese, and you can totally freeze that too. But normally I buy it in the blocks, just in case if the store is really high on prices, then sometimes I'll get shredded. But anyways, I try to get the more natural cheese, and I think it does better than some of the other brands I used to buy in the past. I don't know if that makes a difference. And string cheese you can freeze. I freeze ricotta. I freeze, oh, did I say cream cheese? Yeah. Cream cheese, ricotta. So I normally have everything I need to make, you know, lasagna handy, and pizzas, and any kind of casserole or whatever. And then the little Bonnie bells, baby bells. See, he's like in the other room making noise, and then my brain's just like, boom. So anyways, but thanks. So I'm trying. But the Baby Bell, those normally have a shelf life of like in the refrigerator of like 4 months. So I normally buy them every 3 months, and we have a refrigerator in our garage. We call it the cheese refrigerator. So we have a refrigerator in the garage, and we keep like extra cheese in there for the Baby Bells, because I like to keep those on hand. We have taught our family that snacks come from the fridge, so we always have like prep fruits and vegetables, and then cheese seems to be like our other big go-to snack. So let me see. Somebody just said, hi, I didn't even know that I followed you. You might not follow you or follow me, but you should check just in case. Even if you are a husky, so go Cougs. But no, just use anyways, so with a live video, sometimes it shows to a broader audience of people. So if you are on here and you have no idea who I am Amy Cross at the Cross Legacy, and I went totally completely viral teaching people how to keep their produce fresh for 3 weeks. So anyways, so if you're not following me, you just happen to be on this live, go follow me. And I have tons of videos over on YouTube on how I keep all of those produce items. Somebody said they can't wait to see the graphics. I will make sure the team works, you know, a lot through the week and a little bit on the weekends, but I'll make sure that by Monday, those get up for sure. So on the highlights. So that is like one of the things, like we have somebody that's helping us with graphics and all those kind of things. And a lot of the girls do things behind the scenes, and that way I can spend more time with you guys and get to answer your questions and do the things that I love to do. So that is one of the Lindsay's jobs. I will make sure the graphics get up. But in the meantime, if you go to thecrosslegacy.com, to the blog, thecrosslegacy.com/blog, and look for pantry, they're linked there too. Let's see if there's any more questions. Oh, it froze. Rice pasta flours are issues. Oh, for the that's probably the Pantry Moths. Yeah, so just store it, bring it home, put it in the freezer for 3 days, let it cool back out to room temperature so there's no moisture in it, and then store it in airtight glass. These are gallon size. This has a plastic issue. This gets asked a lot, and I don't know where people are storing food at, but we don't have rodent issues in our house. So I don't I don't know why on so many food saving blogs and stuff where people are storing, I don't know if they're storing it in their barn or what's going on, but anyways, a plastic issue or plastic lid is not like rat proof if you have that issue wherever you're storing long-term food storage, but a metal lid is completely safe from everything. So anyways, so this is a 1/2 gallon is the biggest jar size that you can get, that you can vacuum seal, which is a ball canning jar. This is a 1/2 gallon size with a metal lid, and this metal size is the same size as you would use for the smaller jars too, the wide lids. So anyways, yeah, I don't know if people are storing things in sheds or we don't have that problem. So but the glass with the metal is the safest for longest term storage. And then you can vacuum seal it, and they go for my husband's apologizing for his loud music and his distraction a few minutes ago. I just saw his question. He's like, oops, or his comment. He didn't know I was here. Okay, it helps. I'm going to shred my Gouda then, and then freeze. Oh, you can do it whole and then freeze it too. Either way, Gouda, it just depends on how long you want to keep it too. Our Gouda, the date on it is like all the way until August. So I know I'm going to eat it before August. So I just put it in the refrigerator, for the Gouda. So if it's sealed, then, just keep an eye on the expiration date too, and how long you want to use it. Sometimes I will cut them up smaller if wazoo, we get Cougar Gold cheese. So if I'm only going to use 1/2 a can, and that cheese is super expensive, if I'm only going to use 1/2 a can, I will get the food saver out and vacuum seal it and then put it into the refrigerator, and then it like lasts again longer, or I can freeze it. I freeze, shred it, and ricotta it also. Yeah, I keep a lot of cheese. Are you going to leave this live up? Yes. Yeah, I'll leave it up on Instagram, and then we've been also just like grabbing them from Instagram and moving them over and plopping them on YouTube. So pretty much any live I've ever done is over on YouTube. We have like 60 videos over there now, and they're normally just these question and answer that I thought of something random that might help you, and then I just sit here and answer questions. As long as you want to talk to me, then sometimes I will talk a while. So my husband's requesting pizza on the list. That is Sunday, because that is Sunday's blog post that is going up. So we have a recipe for gluten-free pizza crust, and so you will get pizza on Sundays. So, as long as my kitchen remodel is like done and I can work in my kitchen, Michael. So, you know, it's all up to you. Not done, but whatever project he's working on. Yeah, I never know on the weekends, like if he's going to be working in the hallway and changing doors, or if he is working in the kitchen. So we are in the middle of pretty much a whole house remodel. These shelves are actually in a bedroom, and they were my complete kitchen for 9 months last year. So I had a little hot plate pad, I don't know what you call it, like one burner that I used on here, and an Instapot, and that's what we cooked all of our meals from. Somebody said hi from Nashville, Tennessee. We were just down there in January, so we had a lot of fun in Nashville. Somebody said hi from Western North Carolina. See, I forget to say that. Hi, I'm from Seattle. Where are all you guys from? So I should say that more. I don't remember it until you guys do it. Okay. Are you going to get back on live and show us how you store your freezer food? Not tonight, because we are going to the grocery store, but if you go over to YouTube, there is a freezer video, and it pretty much hasn't changed since the last time I did that video, like in January. So I mean, there's a little bit different of the batch cooking meals that we rotate out, but it's pretty much the same thing. But we do have 2 freezers. For 22 years of our marriage, we always had 1 freezer in the garage. And this last year, or last 2 years, we started buying like half a beef at a time. And so then we bought a separate freezer pretty much just for that. And then I just feel like I need to say it again. We do have a generator. We do have backup gas. We have backups to the backups if the power went out. We're not going to lose 2 freezers full of food. But I bought that meat at $3.50 a pound. So, and that is steak and hamburger and all the things. I paid $3.50 a pound for it. Even though the price went up a little bit, like when you buy it larger like that, it's not the same price of what you would go and buy steak at the store for. So it has saved us so much money. And then we put $100 aside every month that goes into a savings account. So when the next cow is ready, we have the money ready for it. So it's just part of our planning. So we still spend $100 a month in meat. It's just going into a savings account instead of at the store. Okay, coming in late. Did you show the process of the dandelion jelly? No, I haven't finished it yet. I was on phone calls all day today. So for the dandelion jelly, I made it last night and I seeped it and I strained it. And then, so it's just like clear liquid right now in the refrigerator. And then I'm hoping to, probably tomorrow, we'll see what Mike's doing in the kitchen. So we'll see. But anyways, I will end up making a video like just to put it on YouTube so you can easily find it. But I will post it here when I do. So I did tag somebody, since you're seeing it today, I did tag somebody that is in my bloggers group with me that is using the same kind of pectin that I'm using in her recipe. And so it should be on my stories today. So if you're seeing this on Friday, you should still be able to see that. And I can't think of the name of her blog off the top of my head. I will tag it in the description if you're watching this after that story is gone. So you have the link to be able to go see the recipe that I'm pretty much using. It's like the standard recipe. So anyways, when I do finish that, I'll do that. But I was on a call today, which is kind of fun, to do a TED Talk. Like, how cool is that? So teaching people all around the world about having food security in their homes. So yeah, that like took most of my day today. and then grocery shopping. But we will see what Mike's plans are. But the dandelion jelly will get finished. And so somebody said, "Hey, Miss Cross," I feel like I'm like back at school. But can we can mason jar store? Can we can mason jar store Pico de Gallo? I don't know technically about Pico de Gallo. We do salsa. I do. Here, I just got it. Let me grab it. I do like tons and tons of salsa and different ones. So you just have to find a safe canning recipe for that. If I can find a safe canning recipe, I will look. But this is a zesty salsa that has corn and beans in it. And then I do another one that is mango and a pineapple one. So we have tons of salsa. So I said it is $6.15 there for half a cow. Yeah, per pound. So yeah, this was the price that I paid 18 months ago. And then I have my next price locked in, but it is not that much. So it's more than the last time I paid, but it's not $6. But still, like, you can barely go to the store and get a pound of anything for $6 a pound. So finding your local farmers is amazing, and being able to put deposits down on bigger purchases is a huge savings if you can do it. So you don't have to do it. We just started doing that in the last 2 years. Can mason jars be stored in the freezer? Yes. Let me grab. Okay. These look weird. I didn't strain the fat off of these as much, so this is not mold. It just is like the fat on there. So don't freak out. So anyways, this is the turkey broth that I did last week. See, it's just dissolving a little bit. Anyways, I know that was the closest ones I could grab. So anyways, this is a narrow mouth. And I say it has a larger shoulder on it. And this is a wide mouth. The wide mouth jars, the quart size jars, they do way better in the freezer than the regular mouth ones. So if you're putting something in the freezer, put it in the wide mouth, and then it doesn't break and crack right here as it's freezing. And you would want to give it enough headspace. So I normally fill it to about here, and then it can freeze and be okay. So another trick is I always put it in the refrigerator first overnight before I put it in the freezer. So when I'm making, you know, anything, soup or whatever, I put it in the refrigerator first overnight and then the freezer. And then there's not as much of a temperature shock to it, to the glass. But as long as you're buying like Ball Brand or I say it wrong, Care. It's Kerr. So I always say Ball Brand. But if you're buying like legit canning jars and not like dollar store jars, they shouldn't break in the freezer. And then the ones like this, these are wide mouth pints that go straight up. These are excellent to freeze because they don't have that shoulder. So again, I would fill it less, and then as it freezes, it expands. So I hope that helps. See if there's any more. Yeah, so okay, so she said the pico de gallo, the fresh uncooked tomato, onion, cilantro, pepper. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but you have to use a safe canning recipe to make sure it has the right amount of acid in it. So I love fermented pico de gallo, and I normally make that. Well, I normally make it in the fall when I have a bunch of tomatoes and I'm done canning. But that you can put in your refrigerator and ferment it. So next time I make that, I can make that and show you how to do it. And it lasts in the refrigerator in the fermenting process for a couple months. So normally towards the end of fall, I make that. So, okay. Wow, how many pounds does a cow usually weigh? So ours was 600 pounds. So, yeah. Yeah, so it was 600 pounds of meat that we brought home. So, and that is 1.5 to 2 years worth of meat for our family. So, yeah. And bigger families do it. You know, they buy the whole cow. Sometimes you can like share with another family and divide it up. But a half cow is what works for us. Thanks for answering that. One more question. How long can I keep the mason jars in the freezer? Well, I don't know what you want to freeze. So I guess that's the first question to ask. But I rotate everything out every year. So I try to plan from year to year. So especially like soups and stuff, when I'm making a lot of soups in the winter time, I know we're not going to eat them in the summertime. So I kind of try to like look to see what we have left and try to eat it up. Otherwise it just sits there another 6 months until it's like cold weather again and I want soups. But for canning things, these are pressure canned. This is turkey broth. This will last 18 months to 2 years on the shelf. I go through these every like 3 months, so I'm constantly making more broth just because I cook from scratch so often. And then like salsas will last like 2 years on the shelf. And these don't have to be pressure canned. You get to do this just in a water bath canner, which is kind of the first step of canning that most people learn. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to freeze chili. Yeah. So this is how I think about things is, are you going to want to eat that chili in the summertime? And so that's kind of my first question. And then, and if not, then I would only make enough to freeze for like 3 months. And then if it is something that you want to eat in the summertime and you're thinking about storing it until next fall, then make enough for 6 months or 12 months. But that I would say a year, but think about when you're actually going to eat it. So I do a lot of batch cooking, and most of my batch cooking things, I tried to kind of keep on a 3-month rotation, because we do seem to totally eat different things in the summertime than we eat in the wintertime. So I'm going through my batch cooking things, all the time to make sure that they're not, we don't have hot dog buns in there from 9 months ago, and we haven't had hot dog buns, since August, or your hot dogs since August, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Let me scroll. Yeah, somebody is talking about like the Jewish communities that do kosher beef. Yeah, a lot of families, not Jewish, do pitch in and do buy whole cows together. And normally when you're buying that, you're buying it like a year in advance. So you can't just like go to the farm and say, I want this next week. You normally are like telling them right at the beginning of that cycle, like 18 months, that you want to pay for this cow, and you put a deposit down and put money down as that time period goes. So some people don't realize that it is normally you're planning ahead for that. Okay, I think we are caught up on questions, and I'll just wait one more second here and see if there's any more. Yeah, kosher meat from the market is absurdly, I can't say that word, sorry. Sometimes my brain has a bigger vocabulary than my mouth does. Expensive. So multiple families splitting a cow is a great move. Yeah, we're like organic and single ingredient items, but we're an allergy family, so like we have to make sure that everything is safe for us to eat too, and yeah, prices are a lot higher when you can't just go buy whatever you want from the store. So okay, I think we are caught up here. So anyways, this was just my random, I'm making a grocery shopping list right before we go to the store, and I hit that, sorry. And this is my little notebook that I keep all of my grocery lists. This is like 2 years worth of what I've bought from the grocery store. So I keep it all in this little notebook. I like this size because I keep it on the counter or around the kitchen somewhere all the time. So if I see that we're getting low on something, or my case, lower on what the buffer is that I like to keep. But anyways, we write it down as the months go by. So this is my March and April list. And then, and if I'm thinking about like things coming up that I might want to have for dinner or might want to batch cook, I could just kind of make those notes in here too, and which is nice. So as I flip back over the last 2 years, I'd be like, oh, I wanted to have roast on that night, or oh, that's random. September 25th, because we were just talking about allergies. This is from a previous year, was also enchiladas on here. So that was just funny. Enchiladas, stuffed peppers, and pork chops was what I had randomly wrote down of things that I had put on the list. But I told you I hadn't had enchiladas in a while, and I think we haven't had enchiladas since September 25th of the year before. So Anyways, it's just kind of funny. But again, go back and watch the beginning of the video if you're just checking in, and I was talking about the dates on things and how I buy things to make them last on the shelves longer and rotate things out. So anyways, we are going grocery shopping tonight. I'm going to be doing washing produce videos. I'm going to be talking about all the things, so there might be random little lives all weekend long at all random different times, and then we will end up editing these and putting them over on YouTube later. So oh, there's a Jules on here. That's a special name to me. So anyways, it's not my Jules. So anyways, so the yeah, that distracted me, I'm sorry. But this video will be up for replay, and then we will cut the videos from all weekend long, and they'll end up over on YouTube sometime next week. So anyways, have a good night. If you have any questions, always ask me. I answer every single question that gets asked, and I truly want to help you guys learn how to have have more food storage in your house and not waste money on groceries, and just have that peace that comes from not worrying about what's happening at the grocery store. So that is just something that it was the only thing I could control in my life for the middle of the pandemic, was knowing that we had food in the house and we were going to be okay as far as food. And that piece that came with that is something that I want to help teach you guys. So even if it's just groceries for a week, you know, that if you go to the grocery store every day, and I can teach you how to not go to the grocery store for a full week. Like, it doesn't have to be a year-long pantry, just a little bit more than what you're doing now, and how to do those next steps. Everything else just kind of comes naturally afterwards. So tonight we are doing our grocery shopping trip for once every 3 weeks. It's been 3.5 weeks since we went to the grocery store. So there'll be lots of videos and clips that'll be coming up in the next couple days. But thanks for hanging out with me, and have a good weekend, and we will talk to you later. Bye.